I just wanted to share an experience that I had that actually was one of the earliest experiences that sort of guided me down this road of needing to learn more about boundaries. I too have suffered the consequences of reckless teaching about boundaries. My wife and I were in counseling several years back, and I was pursuing some individual counseling with a guy, so another male counselor, and he began to teach me about boundaries in relationships. He had me read the Boundaries book by Cloud and Townsend, and some other stuff as well. But as we began to go through our counseling together, and I learned that he himself was actually going through a divorce and had some pretty severe issues in his marriage that he was needing to get away from. Or at least draw some boundaries around, right? So for him, boundaries were an important tool in his life, and were coming from a place where he was experiencing a lot of hurt in his relationship. Here's the problem. As he began to talk with me and work with me more, it really began to feel like he was going to be guiding me to do something similar in my marriage as to what he was doing in his. And even though my marriage didn't have those same issues and certainly didn't have that same intensity of those issues, and uh, and yet for him, where he was sitting, because he was in a place where he was using boundaries in his own life, I felt that there was only one track that he was trying to get me on, and that was going to be the track out of my relationship. Ah, goodness gracious, that is absolutely not what we want to do, right? And for what I felt was pretty generic, run of the mill sort of counseling stuff. So all that to say, I have some real world experience of, man, if you're not careful and you hear from somebody who has a lot of hurt and can validate some of your hurt, and then sort of give you this, but don't you see, here's the answer. You don't have to deal with this. You don't have to put up with this. Just draw a boundary, right? Just get ready for divorce. It's okay. If you can't have this marriage, you don't want it anyways, right? And so all that to say, I've tasted the poison. That's what I'm trying to get at here. I've tasted the poison of this bad boundaries teaching stuff. And again, no fault really to the counselor, and my heart goes out to him. And still, if I met him, I'd shake his hand. Great guy. Really liked him in a lot of ways. Just like I don't have any personal beef with some of the teachers out here who are talking about boundaries, but all the same, I got to call out where I see room for error or room for misapplication. And I think that's really the biggest thing, is that the careless teaching about when you apply boundaries, which we talked about in that last short that I did, comes from situations like this, I think. Even though I've talked a lot about female teachers and stuff like this, I also know it's a two-way street, and it goes both ways. And I think that men getting bad advice about boundaries or reckless advice about boundaries has every bit as much potential to harm a relationship or harm a marriage as women. So, food for thought. Hope that helps you. Come watch the latest episode on the YouTube channel if you want to hear more about this. It's episode 38. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next one.